Welcome.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
And that was your exclusive interview with Zach Fowler of Sun-Dried Vibes. No, okay. And welcome back to the Upstate Music Mind podcast. That's the first time we could say welcome back.
Welcome
Johnny.
back.
Yeah, that little intro there was obviously just kind of a comedic error there when we tried to call Zach for the first time, and he didn't go through. So we do have that interview coming up for you, of course, still. Zach Fowler of Sun-Dried Vibes. He's going to be talking about his their new single that was just debuted on Friday. It's entitled Rewind This, featuring Melodose. Look, these guys are really good. They've been doing it a long time. I've known Zach personally for a long time, and we had to give him some love and promote this single. And we're going to go ahead and be honest with you. The scheduling didn't line up this week like we thought it would. You know, me and Zach have busy lives respectively. We both have kids and scheduling and other jobs. So unfortunately, the interview is going to have to be on a future show date. But we didn't want to, I thought that was, the intro is kind of funny, man, because life happens. And we want to be honest on the show, give you a little inside look at how the sausage is made, so to speak. That there's probably a better expression, but Zach's a good dude, and his band is a good band, and we're going to be really excited to have him on. We kind of decided that a 5-minute quick rushed interview would probably not be fair for any of the fans tuning in to hear those guys and to hear what Zach has to say and the inside information. We didn't want to rush it, and we have plenty of artists coming up. So, and Johnny, I'll let you introduce them.
Well, we got a good artist lined up this week. He's a good friend of ours, Mr. Mark Webb Jr.
Mark Webb Jr., man.
Yes, sir. He's been putting out some new music starting this year. I think earlier this year he put out a new single and put one out at the end of last year. So he's still doing stuff.
The most recent single was Just One Kiss, I believe.
Just One Kiss,
right?
Yes. And I think he said he put that out in February, I do believe.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, let's that's the good thing about this podcast is we've already had some good traction and stuff, and Mark Webb and Mark Webb Jr. I guess we should say officially his artist name.
I call him Marky Mark, but
Well, that is trademarky marked. I'm pretty sure. Dude, oh my gosh, if we could get a fucking Wahlberg drop in here. All right. No, but so we're going to have, he's a really great musician and a good friend of ours. We already recorded that interview. That's what I was trying to get to. So it's good that we have a lot of artists that are friends already, but artists that we're, starting to get in contact with and going to try to stockpile these interviews, man, get as much as we can in here.
Yeah. Speaking of growing and stuff, I was looking at our Facebook page. We just created a Facebook page last week for our debut episode, and we're already up to 250 likes. So I just want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for sharing, interacting with our page. Feel free to continue to do that because we're really just trying to grow our support base as big as we can. Like we said before, not necessarily for ourselves or for this podcast, but for the artists that we're trying to help out, the venues we're trying to help out. It just helps out if we have a bunch of listeners. And so, yeah, just keep sharing us, keep listening. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I know me and Ryan have had a lot of fun doing this the past couple of weeks. So,
yes, and
definitely something we want to continue to do. So,
even when the things don't happen as planned, like the beginning of the show there, we find some moments of gold or silver, I guess, is the lining color.
Yeah.
Not in my bathtub. That's yellow. No, I'm just kidding.
What color is your liner in your bathtub?
It is the shower curtain.
I guess, yeah.
It is clear. You will know what's going on right when you walk in. You make a mistake, there it is.
Oh God.
Anyway,
I have a black one, so I'm all blacked out in mine.
Well, once you go black, you can't see in the shower.
I won't go back. I will always have a black liner.
Yeah. Hey, man. Guy liner. All right. But yeah, man, speaking of the Facebook stuff, Instagram, Spotify, all these other things that we're promoting ourselves on, we've seen some good traction and numbers. And it's even up to now, man, I'll pull it up right now. It's a reach of 7.3K and growing. And, that's pretty remarkable. And
that's crazy.
The likes are actually follows are at 330. Likes at 324 on Facebook, so that's a pretty big number too, right out of the gate, and so we're really happy that there's already that much traction to get this thing started. I mean,
Right.
if I keep stumbling over words, people will slowly tune out. But editing, we need a little magic, like a magic wand fucking drop. That's I'm gonna get there. So we should probably just go ahead and start jumping into the show here and get Mark Webb Jr. here. Let's go.
All right, cool. We've got the very talented, dashingly dapper, avid Braves fan, and a really good friend of mine, Mark Webb Jr. on the phone. Mark, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Man, we are so excited to have you. Hey, I just saw you dropped a new single, Just One Kiss, recently. You want to tell us a little bit about the song?
Yeah, so put that song out, I think it was February. We recorded it last year, sometime during quarantine. It was myself and my buddy Catlin Owen and my buddy Brad Phillips out at Studio 101. No, yeah. And so we recorded a few songs last year, and they're slowly making their way out. And so Just One Kiss was the second of that little batch of songs. So hopefully we'll have a third one coming out.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you released one maybe towards the end of last year, Moonlit Road. Is that
Yes.
So all these songs are going to be kind of a collective effort on an album coming up soon, or?
There's talks about doing that, at least doing like an EP this year. But I don't know.
Okay.
You know, you kind of got nothing but time, so maybe we'll do an EP, or maybe we'll just keep doing the
Hey, man.
singles thing.
The Nothing But Time sounds like the title of the EP. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
It does sound very vibey.
Hey, I'm gonna put that on my phone.
Well, cool, man. So tell us a little bit about the song. What is the song about?
So Just One Kiss was about, it's about my wife and how we met. When we dated, we had a long distance relationship for a couple of years before she moved to South Carolina and we got married. And it just kind of tells the story of what we had gone through with the long distance and then the first few years of marriage.
Standing with you on the steps inside of that house, just wondering if you were gonna let me in. Staring at each other, holding on to your blouse, just hoping for a sign to begin. And as I leaned in and you drew close, I knew one thing, that I'd never be the same. Baby, don't it feel just like a dream or something from a movie scene? I know this like I knew back then, that my life changed with just one kiss. Next few years we came and we went, burning up them highway lines. Fire in our hearts that had us hell-bent, sending shivers up and down our spines. And as I leaned in and you drew close, I knew one thing, that I'd never be the same. Baby, don't it feel just like a dream or something from a movie scene? I know this like I knew back then, that my life changed with just one kiss. 10 years of saving all my kisses for you, girl, you're all that I'm craving. Baby, don't it feel just like a dream or something from a movie scene? I know this like I knew back then, that my life changed with just one kiss. Oh,
actually wrote that song probably 2016 maybe.
Oh wow.
But just never really got around to being able to completely finish it and get it recorded until last year.
So do you think you have like a bunch of songs in your arsenal, like in your little trick bag that you can just kind of pull out?
I wouldn't necessarily say a bunch, but there's a few floating around in there that have never been recorded. I mean, there's some that I've never played live, and then there's some that I've played live but never recorded. So it's kind of interesting how songs work. You know, you write something and you think it's good, but then for some reason, maybe if you're going to put out an EP or an album, it kind of just doesn't necessarily fit the vibe with the others. And then eventually, hopefully, they kind of find the light of day, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I think songs kind of like, I mean, it's almost like we're a medium for songs, in my opinion, half the time. Like, they'll just come out and almost kind of write themselves in a way. And, you know, like you said, when you get in the studio, you kind of hear different things and kind of see the bigger picture sometimes. But, you know, I just feel like it's kind of up for interpretation. Like, everybody who receives a song can receive it a different way. And I might be getting kind of really deep right here, but y'all just kind of prompted that in my mind. That's something I think about a lot when I hear music.
Okay, hey Mark, can you hear Ryan right now?
I cannot.
Fucking whoops.
Crap.
Yep.
That sucks, because I thought that was really good. No, you know what? I'm an idiot. I had mute on here while y'all were talking because I was fidgeting with something, and I forgot to take it off. Anyway, Mark, it was really deep intellectual shit I just said. Let me try. Okay. Basically, like when you were talking about that, I feel like songs use artists as almost a medium in a way. Like they're their own they're their own things. They're their own entities that like are up for interpretation. You know, so
Yeah.
like I feel like sometimes they write themselves. They just kind of naturally flow out, and then sometimes you're like straining for hours. Like I know this can be good, and I can't quite figure it out, but like it's just because like, hey, I mean, yeah, you're the artist, but it's like up to the song's discretion sometimes, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Like I totally agree with that. You know, I kind of look at songs almost like they're like a living, breathing thing. That's their own thing, and that's why it's super important when you're writing a song or when you're recording a song. You have to think about like, what can I do to best serve this song, to help make this song as good as it can be. Because, you know, a lot of times we'll just throw the whole kitchen sink at something, and it's not what a song needs. And that's why songs change over time. Like, you know, there are songs that I listened to growing up as a teenager when I didn't know anything about life in the world that meant one thing, and then, you know, 20 years later as an adult, I still love that song, and I still can feel like that kid when I listen to it, but now I see it in a totally different way, you know, because I've, you know, just lived longer.
Well, and that's awesome, man. I mean, that's exactly kind of what I was feeling too, man. Like basically, even through the same person, it can be interpreted different at different stages in their lives. So, yeah.
100%.
Right, it's an interesting attack because I feel like there's songs that, you know, me and some of my friends have written. Obviously, we've written a slew of songs, and sometimes, you know, we'll have a song down. Literally, it feels like 15 minutes, and boom, there's a song. And it's like sometimes those songs are really good because it's just easy. It flows really well. There's no resistance. It feels like you just get it out. But then I feel like sometimes the songs that take 2 or 3 years to write, like you say, they evolve and like they hit different in different parts of your life, whatever the situations you've got going on. So it's kind of interesting to see like how songs kind of adapt.
Right. Yeah.
Songwriting is just such a cool process.
Yeah. You know, we all want the songs that just kind of fall out of the sky. You're able to write them in like, you know, 15 minutes, 30 minutes or something like that. And, you know, a lot of times those songs end up being like the best songs, I guess. because it's like that song found you. But then, you know, I've personally had songs that have taken me months to write. You know, you come up with you might come up with a chorus or something, and then you don't know where to take the verse, or you come up with a verse and you're not really sure where you want the chorus to go, you know, whether it's the progression or it's the melody or the lyrics, you know. And I put out an album in 2019 called Smoke Wine Banter, and
Great album, by the way.
On there called The Dancer. It took me months to write that song. It was like it's like an upbeat song, but when I started writing it, it was like this really slow song, and I knew it was going to be a love song, but it sounded kind of depressing, and I was just stuck. I was like, I don't know where to take this, and it took me listening to another artist take one of their songs and like changing the rhythm of the song, and I was like, holy crap, this is really cool. And so then I thought, well, maybe I should do this with The Dancer instead of it being some really slow, sad sounding song. Let me make it upbeat. And once I did that, like, I finished the song in like 15 minutes.
It was safe to say I was falling for you.
Sometimes you just need to take a step back. Sometimes let it breathe a little bit, and things come out a little easier.
Gosh, if I had a nickel.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like that's kind of what I was gonna say too. It's kind of like a fine line. Like it's almost like I have a internal battle of like, am I trying to force a song, or like am I being lazy and not trying to work on the song? Like am I, you know, like I want to make sure it's honest and pure, but I also don't want to, you know, cut corners or like assume that it's good or bad. I just want it to kind of finish it and it feel right, you know.
Right.
So sorry, really quick here. There's a podcast called what's it called? Song Exploder. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really interesting. Have you heard that, Johnny?
Yes, I think you were telling me about that. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, there's a lot of interesting and cool artists, and they mix it up, man. Like a lot of these artists I've never heard of, but they do have some famous ones. But I was listening to one with Weezer the other day, and Rivers Cuomo was talking about how he constructs some songs in this day and age a little bit, and it was crazy, man. Like he literally just has these little riffs on any instrument that he has an idea, or little vocal melodies, or little like two-liners, and like just seriously like subjects all over the board, tones all over the board, and he just like has a database of this stuff, and like he categorizes them like meticulously, like by the key they're in and like how many syllables are in each thing, and then he'll line up how the syllables match. Like it's a very scientific or almost kind of calculated, and it's crazy. Like I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I could approach it quite like that, but I mean, it makes sense, you know.
Yeah. Well, Rivers has got the mind to like do that. Like, I love Weezer. I think Weezer is one of the greatest bands of all time. And I think it's very interesting because one of the things I think that we look at songwriters, like there's no shortage of like life experiences to write about, but like at a certain point you don't want to continue to just like write about your life, you know, because sometimes your life just may not be that interesting. You know, and then like, and if you're like as successful as like Weezer is, and Rivers in particular, you know, it's like how relatable can he be to the everyday person when he sort of lives a life of like luxury, you know? And so by creating this database, it kind of helps him be able to just kind of tap into just like an everyday experience with people without it being about his life, you know? So he doesn't have to get on stage every night can sing about losing, this person in his life, or this awesome thing happening in his life, and it being something that nobody else can relate to because we're not all millionaires, So, but that episode was really, really neat.
Yeah, man.
There's also there's starting to be an age gap because Rivers is getting up there, man. He's like, what, 50? So, and he's still rocking, man. He's still doing it.
I mean, damn it, I was trying to make a Rivers joke like with tributaries and sons or something, and some geological shit like is he gonna be a canyon? I don't know, fuck it, dude. But just know that I was thinking of it, guys.
Well, hey, man, Mark, I appreciate you coming on, man. You are an incredible songwriter. There's not a song that I've heard come out that I don't like. It's great. So I want everybody to be able to get the chance to see you play live. I know you got some upcoming shows coming up. I know you're at the Pint Station on May 21st. I think you're going to be at Stone Pizza on May 25th, and then Sweet Sippin' on the 29th. I've seen Mark several times, and I promise you're going to want to get out to see him. He's a great dude, awesome musician, great songwriter. You will have the time of your life. So, well, I won't keep you much too longer. I just wanted to ask you
if there's any social media handles you want to plug, your Spotify account, whatever you want to plug.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, like the one that all the old people are on. So, and on there,
you on MySpace now?
Yeah, check out my MySpace. Also, check out my OnlyFans.
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Instant sub right there.
Dude, you're still away from your computer on AIM, man. I'm trying to AIM you message right now, dude. Like, you're taking 20 years of response.
Yeah. ERP. But yeah, you can find me online at markofjr.com, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, all those places.
Nice. Sounds great, dude. Well, hey, thanks for coming on, man. Always glad to have you here. Hey, if you do drop that EP or album, in the next coming months, like, we'll have you back on and we'll talk about that album.
upstatemusicmine@gmail.com.
Yep.
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely, dude.
Hey, man, it was a nice little catch up, and I mean, I didn't anticipate a three-way this quick. I mean, but we did have a history, to be fair.
Next time you have a three-way with Mark Webb, you better say yes.
It's a wicked web you weave, man, and we love it.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
I'm corny as shit. All right, Mark. We appreciate you, man.
All right, y'all. Love y'all. Bye.
All right. That was another solid interview, bro. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get old Mikey Frazier from Smiley's Koozie Cafe.
Mike Frazier. Oh, I was going to tell you, the other day I was there a couple weeks ago. I was there for open, well, it was not, it was like karaoke, but they had like a house band back.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, the house band was really good.
Dude.
I was like pretty impressed with their ability. I don't know if they had like a list of songs that these are the songs you can pick from, but it seemed like, I mean, they were playing all kinds of Motown, hip hop, pop, rock songs. I mean, it was crazy. They just had a huge list and a huge genre pool. Do what now?
Polka techno?
Polka.
I mean, you're leaving out some...
I didn't. Their accordion player couldn't make it, so no polka for that night. But
that's okay. All right.
But yeah, Andy Welcher was there. And yeah, I ran into him and I was like, man, and it's been years since I've seen him, and he was one of the keys players playing there. So shout out to him. You guys did a great job, killed it. But yeah, he recognized me and like knew my name. I was like, dude, that's awesome, dude. He's always such a cool dude. Like I said, man, it's been years since I've seen him. Good to see that he's still doing stuff in the scene, you know.
Well,
yeah,
dude,
man.
it's funny that you're bringing that up because, well, first of all, just so y'all know, Johnny couldn't make the actual interview we have just recorded with Mike Frazier here, so he wanted to kind of say a little bit about that. But it's funny because Mike brings that up, man, and he talks about how fun that live karaoke is, and we actually me and him go back and forth a little bit about it. You'll see, but yeah, man, are you gonna do it?
It was a lot of fun. Like I said, the band was great. So if you haven't been to an open mic night or karaoke or whatever they call it at Smiley's, definitely recommend you go because it's a good time.
Oh my gosh, they should call it open mic Frazier night or something. All right, I don't know.
That's a little weird. I don't know.
It is. Oh shit, it is weird. He would love that joke though. All right. All right, so I guess let's fucking get him on here. Old Mikey Frazier. Let's get him on. All right, and we have Mike Frazier in the studio of Smiley's Acoustic Cafe. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Well, hi everybody. Mike here from Smiley's Acoustic Cafe. Of course, we have events 7 days a week at Smiley's live music venue. Everything from live band karaoke, open mic, to performing artists, 2 shows a night on the weekends. So kind of.
When is the? I'm sorry, man. Is the open mic Mondays? Because okay, we were doing the schedule list last week's show, and the source that we had a lot of detailed information, but I didn't see that, and I did mention that on the air because I was pretty sure you guys have been doing Mondays for a while, right?
Well, I've been there for a little over 8 years, so at least that long.
So you took over 8 years ago? I was going to ask you about that.
No, I was bartending there as a second job to put my wife through school, and just kind of kept assuming more responsibilities. And then once we got married and she finished school, I was looking to make a change with my day job, and it just kind of worked out that the owner was looking to make a change as well. And so we...
Is that something that you kind of always wanted to do, like to own a bar or a music venue kind of place specifically?
I think that every young punk ass and that likes to drink always wanted to own a bar.
Right.
So
Old punk asses too, to be fair.
I guess you could say it was a dream, but you never really know what you're getting into until you do it. And so it's a lot more work than I thought it would be at a younger age, for sure.
Right. I mean, I always had a dream of opening some sort of venue and being able to do that thing, but there are so much that goes into it. Even as just a performer, when we were playing for 8 years, I mean, we saw a lot of kind of sticky situations, and unfortunately we're in the middle of some because, you know, every situation's different, but there's always management, there's always employees, there's always scheduling, there's always a lot of X factors.
Right.
But at least now that we're kind of over the hump of the pandemic, hopefully, knock on wood, you know, things are starting to come back open and people are playing again, and that's really exciting. So that's another reason we wanted to do the podcast now, to kind of help build on that momentum and continue to see the scene grow. Do you have any artists specifically that you want to like kind of promote that are coming up, or that are some of your kind of favorites, or guys or girls that are in there on the regular?
Well, man, there's so many amazing, incredible musicians in the upstate, and so many of them play. It would be impossible for me to pick a few and promote, but one really cool thing, if you haven't experienced, is our live band karaoke on Wednesday nights. So that's with the Sound Committee, incredible musicians. But you show up, basically get on stage, you're the singer, you have a full band, backup singers and everything, so it's really your opportunity to do something cool, be a star if that's something you haven't done before.
Dude, that's great, man. That's a great, because I worked at Wild Wing too, like, you know, during the kind of same time I was playing, and there was a band that I can't remember their name, but it was like a live karaoke thing, and unfortunately that was kind of when Wild Wing's towards its downturn, but those guys were really good, and like there was only like 3 or 4 people who had the balls to go up there, but I mean, it was such a good idea, and I'm glad to hear that there's something like that still going on. So maybe I need to pound a few Jaegers with you and go up there one day.
It's wild, man. It's like a Friday night for us. People love it. We've been voted best karaoke night in the upstate 2 years in a row.
Man.
So.
Well, I don't know how you can beat a live band karaoke like that. That's the living in the moment, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Have you ever gone up there and done it?
I've had a few too many liquid courages and been coerced into it. And let me tell you, if they can make me sound good, because you have a sound engineer mixing, right, and I'm terrible. So, you know, they'll turn the backup singers up and turn you down, and so it's all geared towards making you look like a rock star.
Well, hell yeah, man. That's the Sound Committee. Actually, I remember those guys. They were one of the bands that I always promoted at Wild Wing. I was like, these are the best. This is probably the best band that comes in here regularly, and is Mark Gwynn?
So Mark Gwynn was their lead singer. He moved to Vermont last year.
Was he was a kind of Asian guy like me, right?
A big guy, yeah.
He was big. He was a lot bigger than me. I mean, it's like Asianness. I just like that connection.
I think Chinese.
Well, I'm Korean close enough. Koreans got to take credit for like the Chinese and Japanese.
But they just assimilated Drew and Laura Horton as their lead singers.
Okay.
And it's a really cool new sound to have the male and the female vocalists. vocalist, and Drew and Laura are great friends of mine, as are all the guys in the sound committee as well. But
awesome. Is
yeah.
Chad Hughes
still
awesome.
rocking the bass?
Still
yeah.
doing bass. Good, man. I love that guy. I think honestly, about that time frame is maybe when I met you, or probably a little bit before that. Do you? I just remember you coming to the bar, getting a Jaeger, being nice and funny, but you gave me a little shit, and I was like, I like this guy. What is going on right now? And like, I just remember that, and like, we just kind of hit it off, man. But like, I remember that kind of in the same time frame as the sound committee, kind of getting bigger, and you know.
Yeah, well, I think I was with the wife and some friends at Barley's, and of course they don't have liquor, and so
yes.
I had to sneak over and see my friend Ryan take a little shot of Jaeger.
Oh yeah, man. There were some good times back there when I used to work downtown. Being a local Q, I love it, man. It's a great bar, but it was a different life being downtown, and
for sure.
There's some memories that I won't forget for sure. So let's see here. Is there something this weekend that you got? Well, hold on. Since we're recording this, I don't want to like confuse.
Oh yeah. When does this come out?
So this is probably going to be an edit right here. So this is going to be next week. So like, this Monday is when it's going to release. So essentially next weekend, not in the next 2 days. We'll have all the schedule stuff, and we do at the end of every episode a rundown of all the venues. Like I was saying when we were mentioning the open mic, I just kind of remembered that off the top of my head. So I did at least plug that for you last week, even though it wasn't on our list.
Well, we have the Brooks Dixon Band on Friday night.
What kind of genre are those guys?
They're wildly popular. They do everything from cover songs. They have their own Spotify channel.
Nice.
They've released a lot of really great songs on their own, but they cover as well.
Okay.
So some cool things. And then, unfortunately, if you're listening, we're sold out, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with the band The Samples, but they're wildly popular national act, and we somehow landed them at Smiley's and sold out tickets in 20 minutes.
Wow.
And that's on Sunday the 16th.
It would be appropriate to put a little free sample of the samples right here in the back, so maybe I can edit that in. But if they're like a national act and signed, I don't know if I can actually play, registered, recorded, contracted music. That's why we're trying to do a bunch of indie stuff here, so get away with it. But cool, man, good deal. I told you sometime I'm gonna come in there and do an open mic, but like I'm just now getting more comfortable with how my songs are starting to sound, and that's something we've talked about on here a few times. This is not gonna be the Ryan Stearns music podcast, like or Jonathan Williman. We're not gonna be douchebags about it. So, but just sparingly, of course, we'll put ours in there once we get everybody else out in front.
Have you talked about the Upstate Music Awards, which are May 16th?
Okay, so yeah, it's the second annual Upstate Music Awards, right?
I believe so. Yes.
I just was kind of looking into it a little bit. What do you know about that?
I'm up for. I guess I think it's the only award that you're not required to be a musician to get. It's called the 864 Award, and I think their description is something. It's awarded to people that have, played a major role in helping musicians in the music industry in the upstate.
Oh, well, so it's the category. I guess there's categories, right? So it's the 864 award category.
It is.
So everybody vote for Mike Frazier, 864.
Well, I think the voting is done, but
well, no, you keep. We're going Trump style.
Okay.
Sorry. We will not get political on this. I promise.
Huge.
Unless you have good impressions, then we'll do it all the time. Oh god, I have like this British voice and stuff like that I do in the background. Anyway, okay, well, yeah, good deal, buddy. I'm gonna research that a little bit more in depthly. Then I didn't know you were up for something there. So
yeah, so and there's lots of. It's an honor to be with the group that's nominated. But the reason that I guess I'm in the mix here is during the pandemic and the shutdown. Obviously, the music venue that I run couldn't do anything. So we really transformed into a curbside and delivery with our restaurant, and at night we were having musicians deliver food, and playing music for people on like their decks or their driveways, and while I would run food. And man,
that's so cool.
Yeah, we kept musicians working, and it turned into kind of a really cool thing. For one example, there was a couple's 50th anniversary, and so they lived in a cul-de-sac. They got all of their neighbors involved. Everybody ordered food, and we set up in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and I delivered food, and the musicians played. That's kind of turned into a party for them. It was really cool. Obviously everybody was social distancing, but it was nice to see people smiling again, because at the time no one was.
I do remember you mentioning that a little while ago, dude. That's a great idea, man. I'm glad that you guys did that. That definitely kind of helped add some semblance of normalcy, I guess, during that time. And helped keep the momentum going. And I'm glad you guys stayed afloat. I know a lot of businesses had to struggle and unfortunately were forced to close and stuff like that. But, optimistically view here, like, things are on the up and up again. And, I'm stoked that Smiley's is a good, solid part of this community. And we're going to fully endorse you guys. I always have. And I really appreciate you coming on and joining us today.
Man, my pleasure.
And dude, I've talked to Johnny about getting people on, even like, monthly or bi-monthly or whatever.
Yeah.
Just kind of guests that kind of drop in from time to time, because there's going to be a segment on open discussion. Oh, and speaking of, before I let you go, man, we also are going to comment a little bit on the local, comedy scene, because I just feel like those two art forms, I think there's similarities within them, and they're their own form of genius, but like they're pure and honest, and anyway. Have you had any experience seeing comedy shows in the area, or doing?
Yeah, man, I'm a huge comedy fan. I think the last show that I was able to see, of course, I work in the service industry, so when the shows are typically happening is when I'm working. Yep. But I saw Tom Segura at the for like the fifth time. I love that guy.
Oh, you've seen him that many times?
Oh, yeah, man. I saw him when he was playing in little, 50, 100-person rooms.
Oh, before his Netflix kind of shit, maybe.
Oh, yeah, before he was a big name.
Awesome.
But
he is hilarious.
Yeah, we saw him at the Peace Center. He was fantastic.
Oh, I thought I remember that show maybe getting postponed or something because of the pandemic. Maybe it was right before or right after or something.
I think it was. I want to say that was maybe January of last year. Maybe December.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm getting old, man. I can't remember anything.
Hey, dude. No.
Honestly, the last year's a blur. Like,
yeah.
Feels like last year was 2019.
Well, I mean, dude, I'm just trying to keep it as like a blip there, There were some good things, honestly, to come of it, and in some ways, like, kind of being able to focus on, you had to stay home, so a lot of people did get to kind of work on their craft or kind of focus on things maybe that they were distracted with their busy life, but
well, your OnlyFans page really took off
oh, yeah.
during the pandemic.
No, absolutely. I had to let my guard down a little bit and just kind of let it out, but I thank you for that encouragement, because once you showed me the light, that showed me the way. There was no going back. Anyway, so is there any local comedians? Because I was going to actually ask you, there was this viral video about like a month ago, I want to say, and I think it was on Instagram and TikTok and all that, but it was Barry McGunthry Jr., I believe is what his stage name is, and it might be Justin Thompson. I'm so sorry if I mess up that name. But Barry McGunthry Jr. is like what his stage name is. Anyway, it was like on Up and Coming Cities in Greenville. Did you see that?
I did not.
Oh my gosh. All right. When we get off of this, I'm going to show it.
Cool.
But it's hilarious, man. And it's like, he has a channel that has a lot of really funny videos, and it's exciting to see a Greenville kind of comedian starting to get a little traction and stuff. And, I would love to see some sort of comedy scene come out. Music is the primary thing we're pushing here, of course. But like I said, I did want to touch on that a little bit with you. So, are there any other comedians? I guess I cut you off there. Are there any comedians in the area that you like specifically, or?
I'm not really familiar with the local comedian scene, the comic scene here. As far as I know, like the Alchemy troupe. I guess they do some stand-up there, and I guess Coffee Underground, I think, has an open mic for comedy. But
is there an improv? I'm sure there's improv stuff in the area, right?
Yeah, I think that's what the Alchemy improv troupe.
Okay.
But I think I want to say they perform at the Coffee Underground. Don't quote me, I'm an idiot.
But
yeah, the only local Well, there's a Leslie Zeminski. We used to, when we first started doing a Sunday brunch at Smiley's a few years ago, we did a comedy hour, and she was hosting that, so I know that she's local. I don't know if she's touring or anything like that right now. But then, of course, Rory Scovel. I don't know if you know that name, but he's been in movies, TV, everything, but he's from Spartanburg. My sister-in-law went to college with him.
Oh.
But he's like a big deal.
I thought you were going to say prom. I thought there was going to be an epic side story there. But my prom story was, oh my gosh, dude. I got out of the limo and I had my condoms in my tuxedo pocket and they fell out on the damn pavement. And everybody started laughing. The limo driver basically helped pick them up for me and gave me a wink. And I didn't get laid that night. Anyway, so... All right, Mike, I think that'll do it, man. Is there anything else, last minute kind of promos or anything you wanted to kind of get out there before we sign off?
Nah, man, I guess I just want to thank the community for continuing to support Smiley's and not just Smiley's, but all local music venues. We got to keep the arts rolling and whether that be with comedy or music, anything that I can do to support any of these endeavors, man, I'm happy to do it. And I appreciate you having me on, brother.
Absolutely, man. We hope to see you in the winner circle and the UMAs there. And thanks again. And we'll talk to you soon. I guess it is time for the Artist Connection segment where we try to bring in musicians and let them network and hopefully combine forces to create some great music. Whatever instrument you play, let us know. Send us an email at upstatemusicmine@gmail.com. Just with your name and instrument and what you're looking for. And it's been cool because we've already seen a couple people link up and connect.
That's true.
And hopefully they do make something here soon. I think it could be some cool stuff. DJ Crazy Crane, one of my old buddies, and our guest from last week, Dr. Love Beats. They're talking about doing a little collab already. So let's get as many people in here.
Speaking of Crazy Crane, do you remember I Put Tide on It?
Oh, of course. The parody songs we've done in the past and some of that crazy you've done are crazy and pretty fucking hilarious and immature. So, we love that.
Every time I hear his name, I just think I put Tide on it.
Yeah, I think he's still doing the Crazy Hour. We'll bring him in on.
Absolutely.
On. What the hell? Yeah, he's got to come on the show.
Hilarious. Yes. For sure.
So the Artist Connection segment, again, just send us your information if you want to link up with some other musicians in the area. We would really love to build some connections here. Again, it's upstatemusicmine@gmail.com. And let's go ahead and just jump into the schedule, I guess, here, Johnny. Do you want to lead us off?
Yeah, so for tonight, Monday, May 10th, 7:30, we have open mic night at Growl House in Fountain Inn. There's also the open mic night at Smiley's, which Mike was talking about, so definitely go check that out. And then another open mic night, Carolina Barn House. I always feel weird. Barn House Ales.
Barn House.
That's from 6 to 9.
Das ist Deutsches German.
That's your Monday there. 69, yes.
69, you said? Okay, I told you we were going to go fast, and I'm sitting here doing this shit. I'm sorry.
Powers through Tuesday. Go. You got it.
All right, Tuesday. All right, Tuesday. The Rough and Tumble at the Spinning Jenny in Greer. I remember that, from 5 to 8. Open Jam at the Freight Yard is at 7. Just like last week, Johnny, Wednesday.
We got Still Creek at Powdersville Pub at 8 o'clock. Karaoke at Dugout Sports Lounge, 7 o'clock. Mac Arnold and Plate Full of Blues at Harley Davidson of Greenville at 7 o'clock.
Mac Arnold's. Calvin's got a job.
Nathan Angelo, which is he's a really good. I don't know what he does for his solo stuff, but he plays with a wedding band group that I'm familiar with. Great keys player, great voice, awesome dude, good energy. Anyway, he will be at the Peace Center. Wow, that's crazy. 6 to 9, good for him. Hey, and then we have Eric Congdon at Freight Yard, 6 o'clock, Thursday.
Oh, hey! How about that Blind Horse show though on Wednesday?
Oh yeah, Dirk Bentley. Dirk Bentley will be at the Blind Horse.
Yeah, man.
That's Wednesday, right? Wednesday?
Yeah.
I think it's a $40 cover, but hey, it's a pretty big show. So
Absolutely. And for some reason, that wasn't listed on the initial source, too. But Thursday, we have live jazz at Topsoil Kitchen and Market, 6:30 to 8:30. The Chatham Rabbits at the Albino Skunk Festival at 3:30. Time Sawyer at Albino Skunk Festival. I guess these are all the Albino Skunk Festival
right. The Albino
artists.
Skunk Festival. Yeah, it's a big deal there. So there's a lot of different artists there.
Time Sawyer, Zoe and Cloyd, Big Daddy Love, The Warren Treaty. Those are some of the artists that they're listing there for that.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Little Leslie and the Bloodshots at the Velo Fellow. Josh Tessier.
Tessier? I'm going with
Parlez-vous
Tessier.
français? We've got a lot of European artists and venues. All right, now. Josh T. Tessier at Stone Pizza. We have Darby Wilcox at Shakura Alley Firehouse at 6:30.
All right, Friday we got Alice Drive at Powdersville Pub from 8 to 11. Secondhand News at Grauer House, 7:30. Another good friend of mine, Veli Harrington at Fire Forge Crafted Beer at 6:30. Karaoke at Turn 1 Sports and Spirits, 8:30. Widow Lake at the Pump House at 9 o'clock. Drew Spencer at the Freight Yard, 6 o'clock. Clint Roberts, again, this is the Albino Skunk Festival, so Clint Roberts looks like he's kind of kicking off the music there for the 14th. Life Like Water, Cruz Contreras, Unspoken Tradition, Kelsey Walden, Sierra Farrell. That looks like the last artist there for that day for the Albino Skunk Festival.
No, the Amanda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ann Platt.
They do keep going. Amanda Ann Platt and the Honeycutters at 9:50. Looks like they might be I don't know if it's like a headline kind of deal, but looks like they're the last act there. And then Darby Wilcox will be at Farmhouse Tacos, 7 o'clock.
All right, and Saturday we have Clay Walker at Wendell's Dippin' Branch at 5. We have Mojo on Max at Poor Tap Room Greenville at 8. Sly Sparrow at Sharky's Pub at 9. Widow Lake, there's your boys and girl, at Hideout Bar at 9 p.m. Ella and Mary, here we go again with the Albino Skunk Festival. Ella and Mary, Anya Hinkle, Graham Sharp, Anya Hinkle again? Just double putting in Graham Sharp, Anya Hinkle sandwich. Or something.
That's Hinkle bread. That's Hinkle
that
bread.
Sounds expensive. Yeah. Lover's Leap. Kelsey Walden, John Stickley Trio, Tyler Ramsey, Dylan LeBlanc, of course, Matt LeBlanc's brother. I'm just kidding. From Friends, Joey. How you doing? Sidecar at Ruben's Foods. Oh, damn it. Of course I would fuck up Ruben's. Sidecar at Ruben's Food Sports Spirits. Darby Wilcox staying busy at Art Bomb.
All right, then Sunday the 16th, we got Zach Kellum at Sweet Sippin' from 2 to 4:30. We got Jameson Smith at Delaney's Irish Pub in Spartanburg at 6 p.m. 3 quarters in a case at Stone Pizza.
I love it. I love that name.
3 quarters in a case. In a case. 3 quarters in a case.
Yeah, 3 quarters in a case.
That's interesting.
Someone tipped this motherfucker 75 cents.
He's like, fuck it. I'm going to name my band this shit.
Exactly. And that I bet you, when he makes it, he's going to find that guy and be like, hey, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. You thought you were fucking me. No.
Well, they're going to round it out for us. 3 quarters in a case at Stone Pizza at 6 p.m.
All right. So, Johnny, on this day in music, thought this would be interesting to start doing something like this. This day in music, May 10th, Led Zeppelin made their first appearance on the UK chart. This is when they first had their debut album, and it debuted at number 6 and spent 71 weeks in the chart, and that's what set their path there, man, like to become one of the best bands of all time. I mean,
that's crazy. That's got to be what, late 60s, maybe 68,
yeah, it was
69?
It was May 10th, 1969.
69.
Nice, wow. Beautiful number there. And then the following week it entered the US charts at number 10, and I mean, those guys obviously are one of the most legendary rock bands of all time. I thought that was probably the most significant piece of information I saw for today. For
sure. I mean, that they definitely opened the door for a different feel and different vibe of rock and roll.
Timeless, man.
Yeah, led the way for, I think you could say, like the whole 80s punk, kind of sound, the grungy kind of sound kind of came from them. It was real dirty rock and roll. I think they put a lot of dirt on some rock and roll. So right. I really do appreciate that about them. But then they also had some kind of melodic stuff, obviously Stairway to Heaven, that kind of thing. And they definitely made their impression on the rock and roll world. So it's crazy that today was their debut chart, embarkment of their album on the charts. So it's crazy. Yeah, man. So, but wait a minute. You know what today is? Do you know what today is? Today's May 10th. Something else? Yeah, it's Bono's birthday. AKA the biggest piece of crap in the world. Oh man, did he like hurt you or something? You're like, why? I mean, he might. Maybe he hurt. Oh, you're talking about you're talking about the South Park episode. He hurt my ears. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of his music, but yeah, no, that's funny. I remember that one. I couldn't exactly remember what they said. I remember they did link him to poop. He didn't take the biggest crap. He is the biggest piece of crap. That's what it was. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So it was.
The biggest. I feel so bad. Well, okay. So Bono's birthday.
It is my happy birthday, Bono.
Happy birthday, Bono. And oh goodness. Okay. Probably the only time we'll ever mention Mr. Bono. What was his name again, bro? It was something. Paul Hewson. Who knew? It was something like that. Paul Hewson.
Paul David Hewson. Yeah.
Yep. I bet I don't. There's another little fact for you. All right. So that's that segment. All right. You want to sign out here?
Yeah. Man, what a great episode. A couple of good guests, man. Always love Mark Webb. We'll definitely have him back on. I'm sure Mike Frazier will probably come back on when they got some more stuff going on. I think, didn't he? I think they might have a new location kind of coming up in the works in the next little bit. So we'll probably try to have him back on whenever they open that up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's gonna come back on. We even talked about doing some sort of like little round table over a couple cocktails at Smiley's, like live,
Love
broadcast. I mean, we obviously want to make sure we have enough viewers to make it an interesting thing to do it if it was actually live. But either way, we could record it and put it on a show, and it'd be some good stuff, I think, and get like a nice, like I said, a round table maybe with the band. Have as many guests, as many mics, or as many people as we can get on it. The more personalities, the better. More interesting and diverse conversations can occur. So,
for sure.
All right, man. Well, I guess that will do it. Thank you all again for tuning in. Please email us at upstatemusicmine@gmail.com. That's upstatemusicmine@gmail.com.
Yeah, you have such a good radio voice, dude.
Welcome. I know y'all like the welcome. It was like AOL. I actually did record myself doing like, you've got, some stupid shit.
No.
And they were all way too corny. I mean, everything is mostly corny, but this stuff I wasn't even tolerating. So anyway, goodbye. No, that was a terrible one.
It's more like goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And then the door closed.
Yep.
That was like a fucking shitty gun. All right. With that being said, we will fire off, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Just double pudding and Graham Sharp Anya Hinkle sandwich.